All right. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's start this morning in a seated position. Just getting nice and comfortable. Of course, using a cushion or something if you want to just lift your hips up a little bit. Sometimes that feels a little better depending on the day. So let's root down the sit bones and lift up through the spine and really try to soften the shoulders. Try to relax them across the chest and just let them sort of gently fall down. And then just think about lifting the head up a little bit. It's not going to go very far, but it's a way to just lengthen through the neck a little bit and keep that spine nice and long. So keep thinking about dropping the sit bones and even the tailbone moving down a little bit. You might feel that the core is moving back then when you do that. So close your eyes. We'll just take a couple moments of centering here. Just really focusing inside to your breath and just noticing the rhythm of the breath. Noticing where the breath can reach in the body. So filling up the torso, maybe it's reaching all the way down to the hips, maybe to the shoulders. See how much you can really expand on that inhale, and then let everything go on the exhale. Do that a few times, and perhaps each inhale expands a little more. Good. With keeping your eyes closed, and with that expansion, let's just drop the chin down towards the chest and just gently rock the head side to side. Just kind of opening up the back of the neck here. Good, and then see if you can trace the chin along to the right, along the chest and over to the right shoulder, looking up and over that right shoulder. Good, and then drop the chin back down again. Just trace it across the chest over to the left and look up and over the left shoulder. Again, dropping it down, over to the right, lifting the head up. You can keep your eyes closed or you can open up. Dropping the chin down across the chest over to the left. Good, let's do it one more time. Again, across the chest, over to the right. And then down and across, over to the left. Good, and then just bring the chin down to the center again and lift it up. Good, feeling a little more length through the neck. Let's just roll the shoulders. Up, back, and down. And then go the opposite way, up, forward, and down. Excellent. And just shake everything out. So shake out the arms, take the legs out front, shake out the legs. Great. And let's bring ourselves over to a tabletop position. So while you're here, if you need something under your knees, then feel free to have a towel or a blanket or a cushion, or you can even roll your mat up just to protect your knees if it feels a little bit too much. And let's just come into a neutral position. I'm actually going to turn this way. Neutral position, so knees under the hips and the hands under the shoulders. Now send the tailbone back and the top of the head forward as you lift the upper back up as well. So the arms are straight, you're gently pressing into your mat, and you've got a nice flat back here. Good. Let's tuck the right toes and press the heel back. Getting kind of a nice calf stretch here. If you want to go a little more, send the weight back. So press into the mat and send your weight back into that leg so you can really open up the calf. Yes, feels good. Nice. Now come back to neutral, lift the foot up, just hip height, you're not going super high. Toes are pointing down and that heel is pressing back. So continue to feel the length through the back. Top of the head is reaching forward and you've got a nice line from there all the way to the heel. Good, now we're gonna bend the knee and we're gonna crunch it in towards the chest. So tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, drop the head, and lift the back up so you're nice and round. Good. On an inhale, come back to that neutral position, so pressing the head forward, pressing the heel back. Make sure those hips are in line. Good. Let's crunch again. Bring the knee in. On your exhale, rounding the back, really lifting up through the middle back, and then release that, pressing the heel back, head forward. You're coming back to that nice flat back. Let's do one more of those. Bringing the knee in on an exhale. Really tucking, lifting the knee up towards the chest, taking the chin towards the chest, lifting the back. Good. Inhale, come back to neutral, pressing that heel out, the toes are pointing down. Now let's take the foot back down to the mat and turn the heel so that it's on the mat. So you're coming into a balance here. We're going to come into a modified side plank. You're going to get the weight into the left side and lift the right hand up towards the ceiling. So try to keep some weight in that right heel. Press into it. And then lift the hip up a little bit as you reach the hand up towards the ceiling. Good. Breathing here. As if you're kind of flying. This is your wingspan. You're lifting up, so not crunching into that shoulder. Good. Nice. Can we take the arm over the head? Reaching the hand away, pressing the heel into the floor at the same time. Maybe opening up and looking under your arm. Keep breathing here. Keep feeling the opening. You are balancing. Good. Awesome. Let's come back down. Good. And just shake out those hips a little bit. And let's do the same on the other side. So tucking the left toes, pressing the foot back to come into that nice calf stretch. So pressing back, taking some weight into the hands and taking the weight back so that you can get some length through the calf. Nice. Breathing. Awesome. Good. Now let's come forward again to that neutral position. Lift the foot up just to hip height. Toes are pointing down. Try not to sink into the shoulders, right? You want to keep the upper back lifting up. Now on an exhale, you're going to bend the knee. You're going to bring it in towards the chest. The chin is coming down towards the knee. You're lifting the back up, grounding. Good. On an inhale, press the foot out and come back to that nice long line. Toes are pointing down, the heel's pressing back. You're lengthening through the left side of the body. Top of the head's moving forward as you look down. Good. Exhale, bring the knee in. Really round that back. Lift the knee up. Good. On an inhale, get long again. Pressing back through the foot. Reaching the opposite way through the head. Good. Let's do one more of those. Bringing the knee in. Exhale. Tucking the chin. Lifting that back. You're rounding, rounding. On an inhale, taking the foot back. Head forward. Good. Now let's take the toes down, drop that heel to the floor, turn the torso to the left, and this time lift the hand up towards the ceiling on this side. Keeping some weight in that left heel, lift the hips up towards the ceiling as you lift that hand up towards the ceiling. So don't crunch into the right shoulder. Breathing here. If you like, you can take that arm over your head to really get a nice long stretch through the left side. Maybe opening up more and even looking under the arm. Breathing. Keeping the weight in the left foot. Keeping the right foot pressing into your mat. Lifting up the hips and opening. Awesome. Let's release. Come back to tabletop. And just move the hips around a little bit. Good. And then tuck your toes and come back. Just open the toes a little bit. Maybe move the wrists around. It might be that your feet are really tight, so you might need to stay forward. But if not, see if you can lean back and maybe even get a little more opening in the thighs and in the feet. Awesome. So we're going to come back to tabletop. We're going to do that sequence again. We're going to add to it. Okay? So let's come back to our tabletop position, nice and neutral, lifting that upper back up. Let's tuck the right toes, press the heel back. This time we're just going to bring that knee in, rounding the back, really tucking. On an inhale, press the foot back, and we're going to go right into our side plank. So take the foot down, take the heel down, lift the arm up. So starting here, and you can stay here if you like, or take that arm right away over your head. Now here's the next challenge, more balance. Make sure the left foot, the top of the left foot is pressing into your mat, and see if you can lift the right foot off the ground. So curling the toes towards the shin, pressing through the heel. So you've got a nice long line here. And you might want to stay here, or you might want to bend the knee, take the foot back, and reach for your ankle. There might be some wobbling, like here. So just try and see what happens. See if you can keep opening the chest. Press the foot into the hand to really open up that quad. Keep the left foot pressing into the mat. Open, 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 open. Good, let's come back. Release the foot. Open up the arm and leg. Come back down to your tabletop position. Woo, and just move the hips around. And let's do the same on the other side. So, taking the foot back, just kind of stretching that calf a little bit. Now let's go right into lifting the foot first and bringing the knee in towards the chest. Tuck everything round your back. Good. Inhale, take the foot back. Drop the toes, take the heel down. Make sure you're really using the right leg to help you balance as well, right? Pressing into the right foot, lifting up the left arm, taking some weight in that left foot. Now you might stay here. You might take the arm overhead. You might stay here, or you might be able to challenge yourself and lift up that left foot. See if you can keep it flexed. Press through the heel. Breathe, breathe, breathe. You might stay here, or you might be able to bend that leg, reach back towards the ankle. Good. And then really press the foot into the hand. You're opening up the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades. You're opening up that quad, so keep pressing into the hand. Pressing down with the right foot into the floor. Breathe here. Good. Release. Open. Come back. Let's tuck the toes. Lean back again. Nice. Shake everything out. And just turn those wrists. Fantastic. Good. So from here, we're going to come up to a kneeling position. So again, you might want something under your knees. We're going to come into a little bit of back bend. So the knees can be a little bit open, right? You have to decide just where it feels all right. Press the tops of the feet into the mat, and then take your hands to your hips. So you can have them here, just kind of on your hips on the side, or you can take them behind you and have the fingers pressing up. If that doesn't work either, turn them the other way. So just turn them the way it feels okay for your wrists. We're going to lift up nice and tall. So see if you can get the spine nice and long. Drop those shoulders away from the ears. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Lift up to the top of the head. Now start taking the chest up, hips forward as you lean back. Don't hold your breath. Keep breathing. Good. So lifting up, sending the hips forward, breathing here. With each breath, you might go a little bit deeper. You might try to take the gaze up. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades and coming into more of a back bend. Breathing. Awesome. Come on back up. And let's come down. Let's just go into a nice gentle child's pose. So bringing the hands in front, or you can even cross them. Good, just to support your forehead. Try to send the tailbone back so you can really take the breath nice and low and breathe into it. Good. Nice. Okay, we're going to come back into that same position. And this time we're going to tuck our toes. So feel free to just do the same back bend that you just did. Otherwise, we're going to come into more of a camel position. So tucking the toes helps us get there a little bit easier. So let's start with hands on the hips. You can also come back to that position with the fingers up if you want. Same thing, get nice and tall. Lift through the spine, lift through the top of the head. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Now start taking the chest forward, hips forward. Lifting up, maybe looking up. So you might stay here, or you might be able to reach back for your heels, but don't collapse through the hips, right? So keep lifting up through the chest, through the hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Drop the head back if you can. Breathing here. Breathing. So really think of up, lifting up, even though you're leaning back. Breathe here. Good. Come on up. Gently. Ooh, come on back down to child's pose. And lengthen through that lower back. Again, supporting your forehead as you need to, whether it's on the ground or on stacked fists or crossed arms. Whatever feels good for you. Just think about that nice deep breath. Really filling up the torso and releasing. Good. So from this position, we're going to take the arms back. So keep your head down. You might need to bring your knees in a little bit more. You're going to take your hands back towards your heels. We're going to come up into rabbit pose. So you're going to lift the tailbone and come to the top of your head. Still hanging onto your feet. It really is a nice shoulder opener here. Breathing. Keep lifting the tailbone up as you roll onto the top of the head. Opening up the upper back and the shoulders. Breathe. Breathe. Good, and release. Take your hands forward again. Good, lift up, tuck your toes, and let's come into downward facing dog. Nice. Good, so spreading the fingers, keeping the heels moving down, taking the weight back, and the head is just hanging between the arms. Breathing here. Nice. Good. Awesome. So from here, we're going to test our balance a little bit again. You're going to keep your left hand on the ground, but you might lean a little bit over to the left. See if you can scoot the right hand behind you, up and over, and then back to the ground. So you're making a nice big circle with the hand. Let's do the same with the left. Scooting that left hand behind. Try to keep the arm as straight as you can, lifting it up and over and back in front. Let's do that again with the right hand. So keeping some weight back in the feet, right? Reaching the hand back, lifting up, lifting over, left hand reaching back, up, and over.
Let's do one more. So really work on keeping the weight back into the feet. Scooting that hand back. Really reach, 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 reach. Reach up and over. Left hand, reach it back. Up and over. Good. Let's take the gaze forward. Let's bring the feet forward. Lift up the chest, straighten the arms, and then come into a forward fold. So really take the torso towards the knees and the thighs. As you drop your head, you might bend your knees here and then roll up slowly to standing. Head comes up last. Good. And let's roll the shoulders here. Nice. And roll the opposite way as well. Excellent. Okay. So we're going to do another balance here. I'm going to just turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to start with our hands on our hips. We're going to lift the right knee up. And then see if you can hold it with both hands. So you don't want to lift up the hip, right? If you lift up the hip, you kind of get sideways. So drop the hip down. Think about lifting up to the top of the head, and your focus is beyond the screen, right? So try to keep the hips even. See if you can squeeze that knee in towards your chest and find your focal points so you can balance. Breathe here. Good. So here's where I'm going to turn to the side. You don't have to do that. Breathing here. Keep lifting up nice and tall. So this is similar to what we were doing from tabletop position. You're going to slide your right hand down to your ankle and drop your knee down first. Left hand to the hip. So see first if you can get this balance. So you're actually squeezing the inner thighs in towards each other as you drop the knee down. Good. So you're getting another quad stretch here. And then we're going to come into a dancer position. You can use your left arm or not. So you're going to lean forward, press that foot into the hand, and then if you can, you lift the left arm forward. Don't worry about how far you're going. Keep breathing. So inhale, exhale, press that foot into the hand as you lean and reach out through the left hand. Inhale, get nice and long. Exhale, press the foot into the hand. Good. And then come all the way back up and see if you can bring that knee all the way in front again without putting it down on the ground. Now put it down on the ground. Awesome. And just move side to side a little bit here. Good. Okay, let's do the same on the other side. So lifting up, you can start with your hands on your hips, lifting up the left knee. See if you can use both hands to squeeze the knee in towards the chest. So a couple of things are happening here. You're going to root down through that right foot, right? Lift up nice and tall through the spine, through the top of the head. As you squeeze the knee in, breathe, and find that focus in front of you that's not moving, right? The hips are even. You're not tilting to one side. Excellent. Good. Okay, so from here, slide the hand down, drop the knee down. Good. Now, let's just check in here. You're still rooting down through the right foot. You're squeezing the inner thighs together. You're dropping the left knee down. So this might be as far as you go. Otherwise, see if you can start leaning forward, pressing that foot into the hand, and reaching the right arm forward. It's kind of by your ear. Inhale long. Exhale. Press the foot into the hand as you lean forward. Again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Lean and press the foot into the hand as you open up here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good. Can you come all the way up? Bringing that knee back in front of you. Excellent. And drop it down. Woo. And just swing side to side. Excellent. Okay, let's keep the feet nice and wide now. We're going to come into a forward fold from here. So when you're in this position, think about the heels moving out slightly, toes moving in slightly, just a little bit. Hands on the hips. Let's get nice and long again. And we're going to come halfway, which might mean you need to bend your knees, right? If not, see if you can straighten them. Send that tailbone back, lift the belly up. And then take the hands down to the ground. On an inhale, you're going to lengthen through the arms. And then on an exhale, fold forward even more, bending the elbows, maybe sliding those hands back inside the feet, dropping your head. And if you can bend your elbows and squeeze the elbows in, you might even be able to get your head all the way to the ground. You don't have to, but you might try. So squeeze the elbows in, squeeze the inside of the legs in, bend your knees and drop your seat as much as you need to here. Breathing. Your head might just be hanging, and that's fine. Breathe here. Good. Let's lift up, straightening the arms, and then walking the hands forward again. Good. So now we're going to come over to the side. So come on over to your left. You're going to turn the left toes out a little bit and just walk the hands over as you lift up the right toes. And you can lift up that left heel as well. Good. We're going to go back over to the other side. So drop the right toes. Good. Turn them out and lift up the left toes so now you're on this side. Skandasana, you're going to open up this inner thigh here and the hips a little bit too. Let's go back to the other side. Good. Lifting up. See if you can lift the chest a little bit more. Let's go over to the other side. Same thing. Getting your hands in place and then lifting up your chest. Good. Now let's come back over to the left. You're going to lift up the chest and then see, I guess we're doing a lot of balance today, huh? See if you can bring the hand to the thigh, maybe the other hand to the thigh, or maybe the hands to heart center. Breathe here. Breathe. So you're getting some opening, but you're also balancing at the same time. Let's do the other side. Moving over, lifting up that heel, lifting up the toes. Now lifting up the chest. So you might stay here. You might maybe take one hand to your thigh. That's where the place to start. You want to keep lifting up, right? Maybe both hands come here or to the heart center. Breathe here. Good. Awesome. Hands down. Come back to center and just drop forward. So bend your knees, drop your seat a little, grab your elbows and drop your head. And just kind of shake it side to side, no. Maybe forward and back, yes. Back to no. Back to yes. Good. Release the arms and slowly come all the way up to standing, just heel toeing the feet in. Good job. Okay, let's come to the front of our mats. We're going to inhale, take the arms overhead, and exhale, fold forward. So slowly, just bend the knees and come forward here. Now we're going to inhale and lift the chest, and then one leg at a time. So bending the knees, take one foot back, and then take the other foot back so you are in plank position. Press back through the heels. Take the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe here. You want to drop those hips down a little bit, but not too much, right? You want to use your core muscles, lift up through the belly button. Breathe. Good. Now let's drop the knees down, untuck the toes, come all the way down to the mat. I'm going to scoot back. Reach your arms forward and drop your forehead. So just lift one foot at a time and take it back, pointing the toes, trying to keep the legs together. Good. And then you're going to start lifting your chest and pulling the hands in towards you to come into Sphinx pose. So pretend that you're really sliding, not pretend, do it. Slide those hands towards you. You're lifting the chest, dropping the shoulders, and looking ahead. Breathing here. Good. Nice. Keep breathing. Try not to hold your breath. Awesome. And come on back down, reaching those arms out in front. Good. Just shake the legs side to side a little bit. Good. So this time you're going to slide the hands in, but you're going to take them a little more under your shoulders. Squeeze the shoulders in and the shoulder blades and lift up into a baby cobra. So you're not straightening the arms here. You're reaching through the toes. You're taking the shoulders away from the ears and lifting the chest, looking forward as much as you can. Breathe. And then lower down. And let's lift up and come back to child's pose. So this time maybe open up the knees, take the hips back, and reach forward. Breathing. Good. Nice, long, deep breaths into the lower back. Good. Nice. So from this position, we're going to come get a little bit of side stretch going here. So lift up your head. Walk the hands over to your right without moving the hips. Try to keep them where they are. And reach the hands away from you, taking the left hip down and back. Dropping your head as you need to. So if you want to go deeper, you can take that left hand over the right. And get even a more intense side stretch here. Breathing. Breathing. Good. Really taking that breath nice and low into the body. Good. Come on, back up. Walk the hands over to the other side. Reaching away, keeping the right hip down now. Reaching the fingers away and dropping that head. Trying to get a nice side bend here, right from the hip all the way up to the armpit to the arm. If you want to go deeper, take that right hand on top of the left. And that makes it even more intense. But don't lift up the hip. Try to keep it down. Breathe nice and low into the lower back. Expanding that lower rib cage. Expanding the side of the rib cage. Breathing. Awesome. Good. Come on back to the front. Just walk yourself back up. And come down to a seated position, cross-legged seated position. Excellent. So let's just pause here for a moment. We'll do a little bit of breath, and then we'll do a couple more poses before Shavasana. So feel free to have your hands just on your knees, or you can take your hands to your belly, or maybe one on the chest. And close your eyes here for a moment. Just soften those shoulders. So we're just going to do a little bit of a count with our breath. So on an inhale, think of really expanding that rib cage and taking the weight nice and low. So inhale on a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then exhale on the same count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again. Inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1,
2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Release and inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Nice. Good. So let's just slowly take ourselves down onto our backs. Hug the knees into the chest. You can rock side to side here a little bit. Good. Now we're going to take both legs up towards the ceiling. So see if you can really think about dropping the tailbone down and the hips so that the legs are kind of pressing away. You're creating a beautiful L shape here. Curl the toes back a little bit. Good. Pressing the bottoms of the feet up towards the ceiling. Now, gently take the belly down so you're tucking and taking the tailbone up a little bit as you start to bring your legs towards you. Now you can have your hands maybe behind your knees, maybe at your calves, maybe at your feet or your toes. And you're going to breathe and slowly bring those legs towards you. Now, inhale. Try to drop the tailbone down towards the mat. So you may not be able to go as far as you think, right? And soften your knees if that feels better. Exhale, bring the legs towards you a little bit. Good. Inhale, drop that tailbone, lengthen through the legs. Exhale, bring them a little closer to you. Inhale, lengthen through the legs, dropping that tailbone. Exhale, bring the legs towards you. Breathing. Maybe you want to lift your head to get a little closer. Good. Drop the head. Take the hands down beside you. Keep the legs as straight as you can as you very slowly take them down towards the mat. So you're using all those center core muscles, right? Press through the heel. Breathe, 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 breathe. Hover above the mat. You might already be down, but lift them back up. Press through the heel. Breathe, 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 and then drop down. Good. So before we go into Shavasana, let's just do a little bit of a twist. So bring the knees back. Just drop the knees over to the right. Looking over your left shoulder. Dropping that hip away from you, so down towards the feet as you reach the left hand away. And breathe here. Good. Nice. Okay, let's bring the knees back up to center. Over to the left. Same thing, reaching the right hand away, dropping that right hip down towards the foot, and breathing in this nice twist. Good. Breathe into it. Good, let's bring the knees back. Stretch the legs along your mat, take the hands overhead, and reach both directions. Hands away, heels away. Get nice and long. Nice deep inhale, and then nice big exhale. Just dropping down into Shavasana. So you might be lying on your backs with your legs and your arms really straight. Or you might be bending your knees, whatever feels best for you, whatever feels comfortable. You might want a blanket or something to keep yourself warm. So close your eyes. Think about the body just sinking down into the mat. Trying to absorb the practice. We did a lot of movement today and a lot of opening. So see if you can have the body absorb all those delicious bits from the practice. And then bring your focus to your breath. Again, expanding with that inhale. Letting go with the exhale. Relaxing through the body from the toes all the way up the legs to the hips, the shoulders, the jaw, muscles in the face. Notice the breath slowing down as the heartbeat slows down. This is a moment for you. A moment for you to allow yourself to surrender, to allow yourself to completely let go. Slowly start to bring your focus back, deepening your breath, and just starting with some small movements to the body. And gently get the movement to be a little bit bigger. And you might want to hug your knees into your chest or do a nice long stretch before you roll over to one side. And then just take your time to come back up to a seated position. Good. Let's bring hands to heart center. We'll take a nice deep breath together. Inhale and exhale. Thanks again for joining me, everyone. Stay well. Namaste.